Hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today what we're going to be filming, what we're going to be doing actually, is building an e-commerce index page that you can filter between different categories, and you're going to have basically like a feed of different products based on a specific filter, right? So that's what we want to do today. I kind of sketched it in Figma like 10 minutes ago. This is just a basic overview. Ignore the nav bar and the design. This is just a basic kind of structure for you to, use and style in your own branding or your client's branding. But basically, we're gonna have like a hero section over here with a title, and then underneath you can choose your category. So you can choose between sports sneakers, dress shoes, or winter socks. In this particular example, it's going to be these three categories, and then for each one, once you're selected on one, the border of the specific card will be stronger, will be darker, and you will see the feed of products based on that specific category. So if you're ready to do this, let's get started right now in Framer. So right now I just went to Framer and I opened a new project, right? And I just renamed this to product category feed. So I didn't really touch anything yet, but always when you work with like e-commerce things in Framer, you're gonna be working with the CMS, whether you get the products with a new plugin that brings the products from Shopify into Framer, or whether you have your products in Notion or in Google Sheets, whatever. You're always gonna be working with CMS collections, and your CMS items in a specific collection will be your e-commerce product, right? So the first thing we got to do, right? We're not going to be doing any homepage. We're going to go straight into CMS and we're going to add a blog, right? Now, once you're in your blog, you basically have, or in your CMS, right? You basically have articles and categories. And categories are just as it sounds, they're categories, you can rename them. So in this case, let's just go ahead and start. We have, if we go back to Figma, we have sports sneakers, dress shoes, and winter socks. So let's go back to Framer and let's replace this with sports sneakers, dress shoes, and we want to replace the slug, and winter socks. Right? So that's the first thing that we do. And now, since we don't have a fourth category, we just delete this one from here. And right, so let's go back to Figma. And for each category, we have the title, but we also have like this second text field. So let's add that into our CMS collection. So we edit the field, we add a new field called plain text. And this plain text will be the subheading, right? So we can put subheading, and if we click outside, now we have this, we have this new column called subheading where we can see that it's empty for each one, right? So let's just fill that out. So for the sports sneakers, they're pretty cheap, $12.99. I wish that was the case in real life, but it's not really. Dress shoes, we go back to Framer. Let's go like this. Winter socks, special promotion, boom, and Framer, boom, right? So that's step one. We got that. So we got these two done. Now we need to do this image, right? So we're basically going to do the same thing, but instead of a plain text, it's going to be a image, boom. And what I like to do, because I guess it's just for organization, I like to bring the image all the way to the top so you can see it as a first column. And let's just click out here and let's go through each one and add the image for each one. So for the sports sneakers, you can just choose an image from your files. So I had them somewhere over here. We can just choose something like this, right? And then we can go to the dress shoes. We can go here, choose the image. Where are my dress shoes at? Something like this is nice. And then for the winter socks, again, going here, and let's choose these, right? So now, technically, for the categories, we have everything ready to style. But before we do that, let's go to the actual products, which in this case, right now it's called articles. Let's just double click here and click and type products, right? So now we have products. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's go back to Figma. Let's say that for each, let's say that we want 5. Let's do this. Let's write here 5. Oh, sorry, 5 here for the sneakers. So let's make it red so everyone can see it. And let's make it much larger. So we have 5 sneakers. We're gonna have 4 types of dress shoes and 3 winter socks. So we're gonna have a feet of 5 sneakers, 4 and 3, all right? So in total, how much is that? That is gonna be 12. So we're gonna have 12 products in total. So let's just go, I'm gonna do the first one. So I don't wanna do all 12 here because it's gonna take a lot of time, but let's just go step by step. So let's just do the first one together. And then once I do the first one, I'm just gonna populate the rest and continue from there. So Figma, we need a image, right? So let's go one by one. We need an image. We already have it. So let's just replace it. So we go back here. Let's replace this image with a type of sneaker. So we can choose this one. And we need, go back to Figma, we need like a special text, right? It's going to be called like promotion, right? So let's go here to Framer. And do we have something like this? We have category, but we don't really have an extra text for that. So what we can do is edit field. We can go plain text and we can call promotional text. Boom. So promotional text would go, let's just put it here under the title or over the title, right? And then we're going to put the image up here. Actually, let's put it under the title. And now for the promotional text, we can just write just released. And we can call this Black Air Jordania. I don't know. So we can go back to Figma, and so we see that the promotional text is green, and then there's another one that's black, and it's called the brand text. But this one doesn't have the brand text, which is, it can happen. So what we want to do is we want to go back to Framer, and we want to go edit our fields. We want to add a new plain text, and it's going to be called brand name. And it's not going to be required because you can require certain things to be filled out, but this one wouldn't be required. So let's just put this at the same, hierarchy so you can see it. So this won't have a brand name, but this one would, let's say, right? So let's go back to Figma. So product name and the price. So Framer, product name, we got that. Now the price, we don't really have something like this. And we honestly don't need, for example, we would need the content. We don't need the date, for example. We can remove this. And we can put like plain text, put price. I think they also have something monetary for here. No, they only have number. So we can put the price as a plain text, put it over here. And let's just require this, right? So this is going to require price. So the price is going to be $12.99, the good old $12.99. And let's make this a Black Air Jordania slug. I think it's always good to add a slug so you can reference yourself. And now this is another important thing. For each product, it's very important to choose the correct category. You can choose multiple categories for one product, but in this case, it's just going to be the sports sneakers, right? Because these aren't dress shoes. So we can go like that. We can do one that is going to be sports sneakers, and you can also wear it for, formal events. But in this case, let's just do strictly separated categories, right? So now that we have this one done, I believe we have it done. If we go back to Figma, yeah, we do have this style done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time now to go back to Framer and add all of the 12 different products, basically do the same thing that we did, and yeah, and populate it all. So just give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back. So I just populated a few of them. I think I just added like 2 winter socks. So we have 11 in total. So now what we want to do is we want to go back here. And let's go back to Figma. What I always like to do is I like to, just take a screenshot of this. And as you can see in this design, we also have this add to cart button and this icon up here. And there's this new plugin that came out called Frameship. And basically, if you're using Shopify, you can add these cart buttons and add to cart buttons. You just have to make an account. It's for free, just to add it to your design. I'm not really 100% certain of the pricing yet, but it seems to be really good. So go check that out. But yeah, basically what I want to do now is just make this look as similar as to my design as possible. So we have now this blocks from Compa, and what we want to do is let's just bring in a nav bar, because I don't want to build my own nav bar. Always with these blog pages, the standard is like 160 gap and 160 at the top and 160 at the bottom and 20 on the right, 20 on the left. I don't like that at all. So what I like to do is I like to go to my layers. I see my nav bar. My nav bar should be filled. Let's open the tablet in the phone mode just to see how everything is looking like. Okay, and then we have the content right here. We want to put this content in a stack, and then I want to make the stack fill, right? It's fill, but let's add like a kind of max width to it of around, I don't know, let's say 1200 pixels. So that means that it won't stay still. So if you have like a big monitor, it won't stretch all the way. So that's what I mean. So what we can do with this, we have like this title, we can just delete it. Let's just do everything by scratch. And we have now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to add kind of a text. So we want to put home/products. And we have that kind of small, that's good. And let's put this up here somewhere, and let's add a stack to it. And then what we can do is we can duplicate it, and we can put all products. And then for this one, let's just, adjust the font weight and this. And then we want this to be fit and fit. Perfect. And let's put this in another stack. So let's add a stack, and then let's make this go to the left. And let's make these things go to the left as well. Now for this stack, this is going to be like the container stack of this text. So as you can see in the top, there's kind of like a space. In this case, what we can do, this nav bar, as you can see, there's like some type of padding on the left side. So if we can kind of see where that is, it should be somewhere here, or there's, max width 12. No, there's some padding somewhere. Yeah, so 48 pixels. So what we can do is we can add a padding to this to be 48 pixels and 48 pixels, right? And then what we want to do is also increase the height of this to be somewhat like 120, and then add some padding at the bottom to be like 24, something like that. And then what we can do is we can also add this different color. We have like some gray one, I don't know, something like this, maybe just to look wireframey, I guess. So this, what you see here is basically all of our products, right? This is going to be all of our products without a specific filter. So before, I don't want to go like step by step. I just want to, I want to basically organize how it would look here and then do that filter design thing. So we got these products, and for each product now we want to, so every time there's, as you can see, there's only one thing here. We have this thing down here too, but yeah, it's over here. But what we want to do is we want to basically just, there's only one thing. We can't select the other products, right? They're not under each other. There's just one. So we can just edit it like this. So they're also going to be, you know, stacked down and not horizontally. So let's just put everything in the center. Let's just adjust everything to be the way that it's supposed to be. Right. So we would want this to be fit content. We don't really need this, so because there's no date. So we have the title and then we have the price. So what we can do is we can just duplicate this text and we can place it with the price. So set variable to price. Boom, we have the price. And then above the product name, so duplicate this, and then above this product name, we're gonna put the it's called promotional text. So some of them are gonna have them, some of them won't. And then we're gonna duplicate again, and then we're gonna remove this and call it brand name. So now this one is gonna have a brand name. This one won't, but it'll have the promotional text, right? So let's just copy the promotional text. Will be a specific color. We want to make it like some type of orange, so we can do it like this. So now you can really see the difference between all of them, right? And what we want to do is also, the width is kind of too much. Let's just kind of make sure that everything fits everywhere. I want to just see how this works like. Let's make it like a grid maybe. And let's make this text fill. Let's make this fit the content. Right now it's looking like this. We want to have, I would say 4. And then we would want, okay, so the image, and so this, we can delete this categories thing. We don't really need it. This one is going to be left aligned. And I put this blue, but we're not going to make it blue. We're going to make it, keep it dark. But it won't be like a semi-bold. It would be something like a regular. And we probably make it a little bit smaller. Same goes with this one. I mean, we'll just make it a little bit smaller. You can decide however you want to do it. So now we want to make this little line on the side, this little border. So what we want to do here is add a border. Let's make it to about 10%. Let's add a radius to this border of about 5 pixels. Let's make this image have 0 only on the top and top left, top right. I'm going to show you why. And this image now should go fill with, and the height should increase. So we want it to be a little bit larger, right? Because we want to show these images. We want there to be less gap. And we want this to be fill, perfect. And we want this content, or we want the stack to have a padding on the right and left of 48, just like everything else on the page. So it's looking better now. And now what we want to do here is we have this text. We want it to be left aligned. And what we want to do is we want this to be fill. And there's some thing here. Just want to check. Okay. Max width. Okay, okay. Now let's add some padding to the left and bottom. And the reason I do it like that is because the image wouldn't be, you know, there wouldn't be like a space on the left side and right side of the image. It's gonna stay like this, so that's cool. So now I want to just add some type of, I want to reduce the gap to about 20. And now it's kind of looking almost finished, right? We want to add some padding on the top, maybe around 24. All right, and it's looking good. We just have to, you know, add this filter thing. So that's good, that's good. And then what I wanted to show you guys is also with this frame ship, once you are logged in, you can go into different section. You can go into the build section, build thing here, and you can go into components, and then you can go into add to cart. So basically I can put an add to cart component like right there and put the width to fill, and I can even add it into my text stack. And then let's just add this on the right as well. And we can add an extra stack for our text, make it like this, put it like this, decrease the padding, the gap, sorry, and increase the gap between these things. And let's just reduce the radius. I don't like that it's so, you know, curvy. And yeah, there we go. Voila, we have like a nice little card design. So that's like the first step. Now the second step would be to add this filter. So let's just do that. So now what I did was I basically just duplicated this to the bottom, and then I removed this one and I just replaced this text with choose your category. So here we are. And now what we want to do is we want to add a collection and categories. And we're going to put that right underneath like so. And we want it to be, you know, horizontally aligned like this. And what's cool is that it already comes with the image and with the sports sneakers, right? So what we want to do is we want to add another text. So, and let's make this text vertical, not horizontal, by adding a stack and making the stack vertical. And what we want to do here is just basically making the everything here fit the content. So boom, and we want to make it like this. And then what we want to do here is basically just, it's not going to be the title, it's going to be the subheading, right? So we got the subheading. Let's go like this. This is going to be a heading 6. This image is going to be larger, so we can add the height to fill, and it would look somewhat like this, right? And what I also forgot is that this background I don't want to make it white. I want to make it like a little bit off-white, and then I want to make these cards and the category cards white, so that we can really kind of like see, you know, the difference here. So let's do the same here. We have white. Let's add a fill to white. You can't really see it unless you like really zoom in, but I think it's cool. So, and we want to go here and remove this, and let's see how this looks like. So we're gonna basically just, we can add some normal padding. Actually, let's add the border first, make it 10%, make this 5, and then we can already start seeing that there's something going on here. And then we can add the padding to the top and bottom and right, maybe more, something like that. It's looking much better. And for this section, we can just make this 0 so that it's very close to these actual product cards. And what we can do now is we can make these, we can combine these two and make a component, right? And I'm just going to add a new stack, and I'm going to call it like filter, right? So we're going to have filter. Actually, let's reduce the height here a little bit. So we have filter, and let's, I believe it's like this. Yeah. So Option Command K, and we call it filter create. Oh, on the phone, let's just reduce the amount of columns to something like this, and then boom, it's much better. And let's make it like this in the phone, I would say. So now we have desktop, and these are gonna be basically without selecting any category. But once you select one category, so we have 3 different categories. So that means that we need 3 different variants, extra variants. So we have we have these 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then for the first one, like, let's just name it. Let's just give it different names. So we call it like D1. Let's call this one T1. And I'm giving it DT and P for desktop, tablet, and mobile, and phone, sorry. So this is going to be D2. This is going to be T2. This is going to be P2. And then we do the same for the last one. This is going to be D3. Then T3, T3, and then P3, right? And then what we want to do is that for each one, we're going to have, let's actually give it a background. Let's give everyone a background so I can see better, right? So now we have a background. It's not going to change anything because it's the same background color as what we have in our page. So basically what I want to do is that for each time that this one is, well, each one of these is selected, the filter will be different, and this will be highlighted more profoundly. So basically we'll have this, and we'll have it 100%. So each one will be 100%, right? But as you can see, if I were to, make it 100%, all of them would become 100%. And that's not what I want to do. So I think that instead of using one category, we'd have to make 3, and we'd have to put them in a stack and add a filter to this one, to just these. So what I mean is that we're gonna, for example, show here, filter, and it has to choose category equals sports sneakers. So we have 1. Because the reason why I'm doing this is because if we only use one, it won't work. Like, we have to add each collection separately and add each filter. So choose category equals, and then we just choose the second one, dress shoes. And then we do the same one for this one. So category equals winter socks. Boom. And now let's just center it. Let's not center it, put it to the start, and then we got something going on, right? So let's actually go like this. I don't know, we can adjust the spacing afterwards, but something like this looks pretty fine. And then now we're gonna have these different things. So For the phone, I would recommend us going like this and maybe like this. And maybe for each one, we can make it fill. So it fills the whole thing. Perfect for each one of these two, let's say. Yeah, perfect. So just so that the design looks good, right? So now it's looking better for the mobiles. Okay, so we still have our 3 different variants underneath. They still have the same, because we edited from this first one. Every time you edit from the first variant, from this primary one, all the changes collapse to the other ones. So we did good in that. Now what we want to do is we want to basically make each one highlighted, right? So we choose all of these and we make it not fill, we border, and we put it to 100. And let's actually make the radius to 5 or 6, something like that. All right. Now that's good. So now what I want to do is that, actually we don't even need to do that. I don't know why I did that. We don't need to add we don't need to make the border 100, because in this first one, it's going to be all like this. So this is going to be fine. This is the primary one. For D1, this one is going to have to be basically 100% solid. And you have to do this for the other ones as well. And in the other variants, so this D2 will have to be this one, border is going to be 100%, and then D3, this will be the border 100%. So let's do that really quick. I'm going to, pause this because this is quite tedious. So I'll be right back. All right, so now I basically did that to each one. So these are going to be empty. So like empty is not the best word. They're going to be basically like low opacity. And then these over here will be one highlighted, and then the same, the second one, and then the same with the third one, right? So now what we got to do is just do the filtration. So this is fine because they're all going to be, they're all going to be filtered there. So let's just add a botting pattern of around 60 so that each one has a nice breathing room, okay? And now what we want to do here is we want to filter the products to sports sneakers. So filter all, choose category, is contains sports sneakers. As easy as that, you see? And then we want to do the same thing here because we just got to do it. So let's go here and let's go back to our filters. All, choose category, contains sports sneakers. And then let's do the same here. Filters, all, categories, contains sports sneakers. So that's basically it. Let me just do the rest. So the second one, but you kind of get the whole logic behind it, right? I hope so. So yeah, if you guys are basically done with that, if you do the categories, the filtration correctly, it would look something like this. And then you would go back to your blog, press play, and then you can just, oh, now that's not, now it's just one step missing. Now what we want to do is that we want to add the interactions between each one. So we have the category, right? And we have to, once you click on this, it takes you to D1. Once you click on this, it takes you to D2. And then if you click on it again, then takes you back to the primary. So I'm just gonna do the first one just so that you understand, or like the first two, so you understand kind of the logic, and then basically you can try it out by yourself. So here I click on this category, and then what I want to do is I want to click on this category, click on interactions, new transition, on click, delay 0 seconds, transition, variant D1. And now let's go through layers. This one, interaction, new transition, on click, once set to D2. And then you get the whole point, right? So here, interactions, new transition, on click, once, D3. So basically all of these are going to work, all of these, because these are going to be, you know, this one is also going to be pointed to, for example, D1. But we don't want it to be like that. We want it, if you click on this again, we want it to go to the desktop primary, right? This one seems fine because we want it to go to D2 and this one as well. But once we're here, we want this to go back to primary because we unclick it, you know. We're like, you know, unclicking the filter, letting go of the filter, however you want to call it. And then clicking on this one, it takes you back to the desktop. So now what we got to do is just do the same. When it comes to the tablet, it's going to be a little bit more complicated because, and the mobile, because since we edited the primary desktop, we just have to do this now with the T's instead of the D's, because it automatically goes to the D's because we did the desktop version. Yeah, so once you start doing these more often, you'll understand a little bit more and more. But basically, let's just replace all of these. So this is going to be T2. This is going to be T3. Let's go to mobile. So mobile is going to be the same problem. It's going to link to the D1. We want it to link to the P1 for phone 1. This one for phone 2, P2. And then this one for P3, right? So let's just go around our different variants and make sure that everything is all right. So we already went through the desktop ones, and they're going well. Everything seems to be going fine, but let's just make sure that everything in the tablet is working, right? So let's just do that by ourselves. All right, once we do that, everything now should be working fine. So let's go here and check. So now we have a filter. So we go here, we can filter through everything. So that's kind of what we wanted to do, and we did it. So this was just a quick crash course on how to do filtered pages, e-commerce pages in Framer. Now that we guys now that everyone is doing these e-commerce templates, now's the best time to learn these types of things. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you guys learned something today. And please write something in the comments if you have any feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my content. Find me in my Discord as well to chat with me about anything related to Framer or no code or building these types of projects. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.